well, let's go ahead and jump into it. Lección 7. Hoy vamos a repasar cómo hacer preguntas. So we'll talk about making questions again today. Vamos a repasar las fechas, so the dates, days and dates, y actividades cotidianas, which means daily activities. New stuff, we're going to take a look at the third person singular form of the verb, and there's a reading activity, lectura, about los orillas at the end. Any questions about the homework? I know, Marty, you said it sounds like you haven't had as much of a chance to work on it.
I was going to say, I don't even think I did the homework for 6. Did we do 6?
You did it probably last week because we missed.
We didn't have class last week. We skipped it. So we might need to be on 6.
No, we did 6 like
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I haven't looked at my.
According to my records, we've done lesson 6.
Okay.
You guys
Okay.
February 25th.
Yeah, we
Gotcha.
did.
Perfect. Okay.
All right. Well, let's just start off with asking each other questions. Okay. So take the verbs on the left. Remember to conjugate them in the to form for making a question. We'll just go around. So we'll start Marty to Cody, Cody to Bree, and then Bree to Marty.
¿Qué significa en línea? Is that in
Online.
line? One line? Or
Online, like on the
online? Online. Okay. ¿Tú lees en línea? ¿Code?
Sí, leo en línea. ¿Ordenas las entradas?
Sí, ordeno las entradas. ¿Tomas mucha agua?
Repito, por favor.
Tomas mucha.
Tomás. A veces tomo mucho agua. ¿Bebes el alcohol?
A veces bebo el ¿Tomas los refrescos?
Sí, tomo los refrescos. ¿Reservas una mesa?
No reservo una mesa.
Take our chances.
What happened?
We'll take our chances.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see, what do I got? Un hotel. ¿Vives en un hotel?
No, vivo en una casa. Is that like movie theater snacks?
So
Or the main
Or like,
theaters, main movies?
No, that's not movies. That's just dinner.
so this
Entrada al cine.
so it
Wait,
actually
what?
means movie tickets.
Okay, I was right. There's
to get into the movie.
Yeah, entrada directly means an entrance. So an entrance to a meal is an appetizer.
Appetizer, got you.
An entrance to the movie would be the ticket.
okay.
Is there a reason we wouldn't say boletos? Boletos?
You can also say boletos,
Boletos. Okay, see.
Tickets, yeah.
but
Okay.
entrada I would say is more common. Boleto is just more of a generic term for ticket, but as it relates to like getting into a place, entrada is a lot more commonly used.
Entrada. Las entradas.
All right. ¿Recibes las entradas al cine? Did you receive?
No recibo las entradas al cine. ¿Comes la salsa?
Sí, me gusta la salsa. Como la salsa.
How would you know if it's like salsa the dance or salsa the dip?
What she said, eat.
Well, I know, but like just context, like could you
So
have
like
made that like
la
yeah.
salsa.
could I have said that and that would have made sense too?
I mean, depending on context, yeah. So if you're with the verb bailar, bailas la salsa versus comes la salsa, like what Marty said, I mean, that's.
You saw
I
us
was
dance salsa, not
dancing
food
and then I
salsa.
was like, what are you talking about? Eating the dance? That made no sense, but I got you.
And that's where the term for the dance comes from. There's an old kind of like folklore tale that like these guys that were kind of the pioneers for the salsa scene in New York were sitting around talking a little bit about like what the music, like they were getting together. They were all from the Caribbean, but salsa was actually born in New York when these guys from like Puerto Rico and Cuba and like Dominican Republic and these various Caribbean countries kind of got together and brought all their different styles of music together. Along with in New York, the music that was popular at the time was like big brass bands, you know, with their trumpets and their horns and all that type of stuff. So it was literally this fusion that took place, and these guys were hanging out, sitting around, talking, playing music and whatnot. And one of the guys said, you know, something about how it was a pretty good sauce, but it just needed a little bit more sugar. So he was saying something like, esta salsa es buena, pero falta un poco de azúcar. And so that's where the term salsa was born, because it was a mixture of all these different rhythms and stuff, just like a sauce being cooked in the kitchen.
What a cool tidbit.
Nice. Yeah. Would have changed my answer significantly, but let's see. Bailas el tango.
Bailo el tango. No bailo.
Oh, bailo.
I'll dance the tango.
All right, we've got another round here.
¿Comes la carne?
Sí, como la carne. ¿Comes los dulces?
No como los dulces. ¿Bailas en la calle mucho?
No bailo. La calle. ¿Bebes la leche?
Sí, bebo la leche mucho. It's in there somewhere. ¿Qué significa los tragos?
Cocktails.
Cocktails?
Drinks or cocktails, yep.
And it was in there somewhere.
Yeah.
In the filing cabinet. ¿Bebes los tragos?
No bebo los tragos. ¿Tomas el jugo de naranja?
Tomo el jugo de naranja. Sí. ¿Corres en el gimnasio?
No corro.
Period.
No. ¿Caminas con tu perro?
Sí, camino con tu perro.
Con mi perro.
Perro.
Con mi perro.
All right, dogs too.
Gracias. ¿Hablas cada día?
Hablo cada día. Sí. ¿Aprendes el español?
Sí, aprendo el español. Kind of. Slowly.
Más despacio.
¿Lees algo interesante?
Sí, leo algo interesante. La historia. ¿Qué significa sufrir? Is that suffer?
Yes.
Okay, we don't need that. Yeah. What goes with Historia?
I could read it.
Thank you.
You could
Lees.
learn it. You could.
Write it.
Okay.
Good.
Escribes la historia.
Escribo la historia.
Okay, one more round.
¿Qué significa con alguien?
With somebody or anybody.
¿Caminas con alguien?
Sí, camino con alguien. Vivo en Denver. Vivas en Denver.
Vives.
Vives.
Vives, okay. No, no vivo en Denver. Beber, no, not beber. Bailar, bailas.
Bailas, there you go.
Cerca de aquí.
No bailo cerca de aquí.
She wants to find out where you dance.
I know.
There's
Not
obvious-
dancing in the streets. I'm not dancing close to her. It's fine. ¿Lees poesía?
No leo poesía. Love letters. Okay. Escribes cartas de amor.
No, what is this? Unfortunately, what he said.
Desafortunadamente.
No. Did you say
Not-
right?
She said to right, yeah.
Yeah, no escribo cartas de amor.
I'm gonna write for you here. Desafortunadamente.
Oh my goodness, that's a word and a half.
Desafortunadamente.
Ahí está.
Desafortunadamente. That's a lot. That's a big word. That's a whole sentence in itself. Okay, so recibas correos electrónicos.
Base with an E.
Recibes correos electrónicos.
Sí, recibo correos electrónicos. ¿Deseas invitaciones a fiestas?
No deseo invitaciones a fiestas.
Yeah.
¿Recibes correo de política?
Sí, recibo correo de política. Discutes. Dang it. Discutes. Would you say discutes con amigos en tu casa?
You can.
I mean, okay. There you go, Code.
No discuto con amigos en mi casa. ¿Aprendes de la política?
Miss con los amigos, because she
That's-
did amigos en tu casa.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
Bailas con los amigos.
Sí, bailo con mis amigos.
Does that mean like of the political?
It can mean a number of things, but most commonly about politics.
Politics, okay.
¿Lees de la política?
No leo de la política. And escribes frecuentemente.
No, no escribo frecuentemente.
Okay, muy bien. Good, good.
Ah.
Bree, ¿cómo se was there
Oh
a
my
question?
gosh, I forgot. Nope, I just forgot all this.
Bree, ¿cómo se dice January 1st?
La primero de enero.
Yeah.
El primero de
no,
enero. El primero de enero.
Good. Cody, February 14th.
El 14 de febrero.
Almost. This one is not 14, it's 14.
14. I knew
14.
You knew that.
I knew that.
And then Marty, March 17th.
Is that el día siguiente or something like that?
17.
Día siguiente. Marzo. Siete
De marzo.
de marzo. Okay, so el.
You're good, Mama.
D is okay. Say again. Días, right? So it's días siguiente.
El
Siete. Siguiente. Siete
Yes.
de marzo.
Siete, just like 7.
Siete de marzo.
Good. ¿Cómo se dice April 1st?
El primero de abril.
May 5th?
El 5 de mayo.
Everybody knows that one. All right. What about June 13th?
Of course. Is that 13?
El 13.
El 13 de junio.
Good. July 4th?
El 4 de julio.
August 16th?
El 16 de agosto.
September 11th?
El 11, did we reverse our order? El 11 de septiembre.
October 31st?
We did reverse our order. Sorry,
El
Mom.
31 de octubre.
Octubre.
What was the 31st again? 31?
No.
31.
31.
31. Sí.
Octubre.
¿Cómo se dice November 27th?
17. El 17.
That would be 7.
El 17. I'm struggling with my numbers today. El 27 de noviembre.
¿Y cómo se dice December 25th?
Christmas. Okay. El 25 de diciembre. Diciembre.
Muy bien. ¿Y cuál es la fecha de hoy, Bree?
Oh, no. Hoy es 11 de marzo. El 11 de marzo.
Oh, yeah, good. Muy bien.
Nice. Yay.
Okay, let's go all the way up to 100 today. Repiten. 0,
0.
10,
Yes.
20,
20.
20.
30,
30.
30.
40,
40.
40.
50,
50.
60,
60.
70,
70.
80,
80.
90,
90.
100.
100.
Okay, so these are just our base numbers to help us count up to 100. All right. Of course, it's super important to understand that, without 1 through 10, you have nothing. So let's go through this real quick. I'll let you say it.
0, 1, 2, 3, 4,
5, 6,
6,
7,
7,
8, 9, 10.
Yes.
Okay, muy bien. Going from 11 to 19 has two different patterns to follow. So you have the first pattern, which is 11 through 15, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And then from 16 to 19, you go 10 plus whatever other number, right? 16, 17, 18, 19. 20s are slightly irregular in Spanish. The number 20 is 20, and then to add numbers to that, you change 20 to 20, right? So changing that A ending to an E ending, 20, and then you add the numbers 1 through 9. After that, all of our numbers will follow this same pattern. So you take the base number 30, you add the letter E, and then you add whatever number 1 through 9, okay? So you can just kind of look at this model, right? 20s are irregular, 21. After that, it's 32, 43, 54. Now, native Spanish speakers are going to say it like it's just one word, so it won't sound that distinguished, right? So it'll sound more like 54, 65, 76, okay? All right, muy bien. And then 100 is just going to be 100, okay? Okay, so to practice our numbers, we can talk about asking how much things cost. It's also just a really good practice to get into, especially if you're going to Mexico next week. You know, you want to start asking about things before you buy them. Okay. So Marty, ¿cuánto cuesta el desayuno?
El desayuno cuesta 5.
So this one is 15.
15 dólares.
Bree, ¿cuánto cuesta el almuerzo?
El almuerzo cuesta $20.
Cody, ¿cuánto cuesta la cena?
La cena cuesta $30.
Muy bien. ¿Cuánto cuestan las entradas?
Las entradas cuesta $23.
In this one, it's going to be cuestan with an N on the end of it.
Okay, gotcha.
It's plural. Cuestan $23. ¿Cuánto cuestan los segundos?
Los segundos cuestan 67 $7.
¿Y cuánto cuestan los postres?
Los postres cuestan $32.
Muy bien. So if you're like me, that means you're probably going to forget to take something with you when you go travel. Here's kind of a list of my commonly most forgotten things before going on a trip. So the first category is artículos de aseo, or toiletries. These are good things to know how to say in case you need to go get something when you get there. So we've got, repeat after me, el cepillo dental.
El cepillo dental.
La crema dental.
La crema dental.
Desodorante.
Desodorante.
Peine.
Peine.
Muy bien. Ahora, la ropa.
La ropa.
La ropa.
Los calcetines.
Los
calcetines.
La ropa interior.
La ropa interior.
El cinturón.
El cinturón.
Los pantalones.
Los pantalones.
Ahora, los recuerdos.
Los recuerdos.
La gorra.
La gorra.
La gorra.
La camiseta.
La camiseta.
El afiche.
El afiche.
La toalla.
La toalla.
La toalla.
Toalla. Bien, why don't you take turns asking each other these questions? So this time we'll go Cody to Bree, Bree to Marty, Marty to Cody.
¿Cuánto cuesta? ¿Cuánto cuestan los cepillos dentales?
Okay, so like, am I gonna say this like dollars and centavos?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Los cepillos dentales cuestan $8 y 50 centavos.
Okay, muy bien.
Nice job.
¿Cuánto cuesta el desodorante?
El desodorante cuesta $5. Gracias, Brie. ¿Cuánto cuestan los peines?
Los peines cuestan $3.81. ¿Cuánto cuesta la crema dental?
La crema dental cuestan $6.39.
Good. It is singular, so you just say cuesta without the.
I only need one toothpaste.
All right, keep going.
¿Cuánto cuesta los pantalones?
Los pantalones cuestan $67. ¿Cuánto cuesta la ropa interior?
La ropa interior cuesta $13. ¿Cuánto cuestan los cinturones?
Los cinturones cuestan $25. All right, $25. ¿Cuánto cuestan los calcetines? Calcetines, sorry. Calcetines.
Los calcetines cuestan $15.
15.
15.
15.
15. I lose.
Was that all of them?
Sí.
That's it.
Muy bien. One more round.
¿Cuánto cuesta la camiseta?
La camiseta cuesta $100. ¿Cuánto cuesta la gorra?
La gorra cuesta $29. ¿Cuánto cuestan las toallas?
Toallas.
Toallas.
Toallas. Las toallas cuestan $19. Let's see. ¿Cuánto cuesta el afiche?
El afiche cuesta $75.
Bien, was that all four?
Yeah.
Sí.
Okay.
Yeah, we're jumping all around.
Yeah, that's why I was a little confusing. That's okay though. Okay, el regateo. El regateo means bargaining. Es muy común en América Latina, especialmente en mercaditos y tiendas de recuerdos. Es sugerido negociar. En tiendas formales no es normal. So what that means is next week when y'all go to Mexico, depending on the type of place, if you're in like a formal store, like, you know, brick and mortar type store, typically you're not going to do this. But in a lot of kind of touristy type places with street vendors or in little outdoor markets and stuff like that, you should just about never accept the first price that they give you. If something doesn't have a price tag on it, it's kind of an indication that you should try to negotiate a better price, if that makes sense. So let's take a look at a little dialogue of how to do that. So we'll have Cody, you're on the left, Bree, you're on the right.
Hola, amigo. ¿Deseas un buen recuerdo?
Sí, me gusta la camiseta. ¿Cuánto cuesta?
La camiseta cuesta
Crazy.
$99.
$99. No, gracias. Es muy caro.
Bien, entonces, 50.
¿Qué tal? $25?
Hecho.
Bien, llevo la camiseta. Gracias.
De nada, adios.
What does hecho mean?
Hecho is like saying done. It's a done deal.
Wow, they were really going to get you there, Bree.
They sure were.
It can happen like that too.
It happens like that to me.
I
I'm
was
no
at
good
a-
at El Riga.
Yeah, I was at a resort in Dominican Republic once, the worst case I ever experienced. And I was talking, they invited these local artists to come in and sell their stuff by the pool like once or twice a week. And I just asked this guy about this painting that he was selling. I asked him how much he was selling it for. He wanted $500, $500. Just like this. I said, $500, no gracias, es muy caro. He dropped the price to 50.
Oh gosh.
50 right off the bat. Just because I said that was too expensive, he went from 500 to 50. So
Wow.
yeah.
So you really have to do that like you're appalled by how much they charged.
I
Like,
mean, if the price seems reasonable, if it's something you really want and the price seems reasonable, so there's a couple of things at play, I guess. And this is where kind of you have to understand what your cultural values are.
It's like, I don't know. I feel like for me as an artist, like I'm going to pay another artist more money probably for their art.
Sure. I mean, if it, like I said, if it seems like a fair price, and then also understand too, what that person might be going through is definitely not what you're going through. If you have the money, then by all means. But there's also the other thing, like getting ripped off. So going from $500 to $50, that certainly made me feel bad that the guy was trying to get me for
that much,
literally 100% more than his very next offer. So it's at your discretion. There's no right or wrong way to do this. And you want to also be fair, I think, just like with any business negotiation. We're very used here in the United States to having very transparent prices,
Mhm.
And it's
And still
just
too inflated.
What's that?
Still too inflated, but
they might,
very
yeah,
transparent.
it could be. I mean, it depends, but you just don't have that in Latin America, and it's just part of the customs to do this. Culturally speaking, it's built into the way that things are done. So it's just something to be aware of. If right off the bat it seems like the person's giving you a fair price, I'm not saying that you need to try and nickel and dime people to death and always ask for a discount, but it's just something to be aware of and for you to consider while you're down there. Okay, so let's practice this a little bit. So let's have Bree, you're on the left, and Marty, you're on the right.
Hola, amiga. ¿Deseas un buen recuerdo?
Sí, me gusta. Sorry, I'm out here.
Down at the bottom, Mom. The hat that you're buying.
Oh, la gorra. Okay. Thank you. Me gusta la gorra. ¿Cuánto cuesta?
La gorra cuesta $50.
$50. No, gracias. $50 es muy caro.
Bien, entonces $35.
¿Qué tal cliente?
Hecho.
Bien, llevo.
La
gorra.
La gorra. Just fill that in. Llevo la gorra. Gracias.
De nada, adiós. I never seen her.
All right, so now Marty, you're on the left, and then Cody, you're on the right.
Hola, amigo. ¿Deseas un buen
Real quick.
recuerdo?
So you would say amiga.
Amiga, amiga. Yep. Hola, amiga. ¿Deseas un bien recuerdo?
Sí, me gusta el cartel. ¿Cuánto cuesta?
El cartel cuesta $20.
$20. No, gracias. $20 es muy caro.
Bien, entonces, $11.
¿Qué tal $5?
Hecho.
Bien, llevo el cartel. Gracias.
De nada. Adiós.
All right, so now Cody, you're on the left, Bree, you're on the right.
Hola, amiga. ¿Deseas un buen recuerdo?
Sí, me gusta la toalla, right? Toalla. ¿Cuánto cuesta?
La toalla cuesta $100.
$100. No, gracias. $100 es muy caro.
Bien, entonces 75.
¿Qué tal $20?
Hecho.
Bien, llevo la toalla. Gracias.
De nada, adiós.
So
Good job, lady.
it should also be noted that the vendor also has the right to say to no. So
Yeah.
going from 100 to 75 and then dropping down to 20.
$100 for a towel. It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, keep in mind too, like if it's like, so imagine when you're going to Mexico, you've got I think it's a 25 to 1 conversion rate or something like that. So $10 is 250 pesos or something like that. So just you want to keep that stuff in mind as well.
That's
You and my mom.
Hola, amiga. ¿Deseas un buen recuerdo?
Sí, me gusta la camiseta. ¿Cuánto cuesta?
La camiseta cuesta $60.
$60. Ok. $60. No, gracias. $60 es muy caro. Really?
Bien, entonces $30.
¿Qué tal 50? I went up. $.
Yeah, you don't want to go back. You don't want to go the wrong to go back up, but
But $60 for a jersey, that's pretty good here. ¿Qué tal? You said 30. $25.
Hecho.
Bien, llevo la camiseta. Gracias.
De nada, adiós.
and you can always skip that step. The que tal 20, like, right? If she says 30 and that seems like a reasonable price, you could always say bien, llevo la camiseta, right?
Okay.
Yeah, this is just a framework, you can kind of switch it
Play
up
with it.
depending on the circumstance. All right, conjunction words help us connect words and phrases to make more complex or more detailed sentences. So the two most common ones would be the word y, which means and, or the word o, which means or, okay? For example, I could say, Marty, ¿deseas tomar agua o una cerveza?
Prefiero una cerveza.
Oh, well, I was going with the answer below. Yo deseo tomar agua.
Oh,
y
sorry,
una
sorry.
cerveza, right?
I'm going with how I feel right now.
Okay.
So
you could respond with both, right? With the word e. So let's practice. So let's go Marty to Cody, Cody to Bree, Bree to Marty.
¿Deseas tener más dinero o más tiempo libre?
Deseo tener más dinero y más tiempo libre.
What is that? ¿Qué significa tiempo libre?
More money or more free time.
Free time is libre? Okay.
Yep.
Free time. Gotcha. Free time. Gotcha.
Tiempo libre. Free time, yeah.
Got it.
¿Hablas con tus amigos o con tu familia más?
Hablo con mis amigos y con mi familia.
I talk with.
My
Talk with my
friends.
friends and my family. Not
Okay.
really, but,
Why do you put más on the end?
More.
It,
Which do you
so-
talk more?
I know. So you wouldn't say both. Anyway, go ahead. Go.
Because of the word more in there, you should choose one of the options, right?
Okay, I thought we were just doing.
Because más means more, right? So which one do you talk to more? You could say hablo con mis amigos y con mi familia igualmente.
Hablo con mi familia más. ¿Caminas en el parque o en las montañas frecuentemente?
Camino en el parque y en las montañas frecuentemente. ¿Ordenas las entradas o el postre en los restaurantes?
Ordeno ambos las entradas y el postre en los restaurantes. ¿Tomas cerveza o vino?
Tomo cerveza. ¿Bailas salsa o bachata?
No, bailo salsa y bachata. ¿Viajas más a la playa o a las montañas?
Viajo más a las montañas. ¿Bebes café o té en la mañana?
Bebo té en la mañana. ¿Comes más la comida estudian? This one gets me every time. Can you say that word for me?
Estadounidense.
Estadounidense. ¿Comes más? ¿Comes más la comida estadounidense o la comida mexicana?
Let's try it one more time. So
Yes.
remember,
Yes.
for any of these words that are kind of big like this, don't get scared of them. Just look at the vowels. So
A lot of vowels.
this is what it should sound like. A, O, U, E, A. A, O, U, E, A. Say it with me now. A, O,
O,
U,
U,
E,
E,
A.
A.
Estadounidense.
Estadounidense.
Nice.
You got it. There it is. Yeah, good.
That'll be the word of the week in this house. Okay. ¿Comes más la comida
You got it.
estadounidense? I found my favorite word. Estadounidense o la comida mexicana?
Como la comida mexicana. ¿Corres dentro o fuera normalmente?
No corro normalmente.
Nada.
So ¿qué significa fuera?
Outside.
Dentro,
is
downtown?
Dentro is inside, fuera is outside. So you run inside or outside, like at the gym or at the park.
Centro is downtown. Okay, my bad.
¿Vives en la ciudad o en los suburbios?
Vivo en los suburbios. ¿Escribes mensajes de texto o llamas por teléfono?
Escribo mensajes de texto y llamas por teléfono.
Llamo, you're right. That's
Llamo.
Yeah. All right, good. Good job with that. Okay, let's talk about time, telling time. So you're always going to ask the question, ¿Qué hora es? The answer depends if it's a singular hour. You like 1 o'clock, you would say es la una. If it's just about any other time of the day, you would say son las. For example, son las dos. Okay. To add minutes, we use that same connecting word y. Son las 7:23. Let's practice. Take turns asking each other questions here. So Cody to Bree, Bree to Marty, Marty to Cody.
¿Qué hora es?
Son las 12:08. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Good.
I like I was missing another word in there. ¿Qué hora es?
Son es 6:30.
Son las.
Son las 6:38. ¿Qué hora es?
Son las 4.
Son los.
¿A qué hora es?
Son las 10:10. ¿Qué hora es?
Son las 3:40.
Cuarenta.
45. Son las 3:45. ¿Qué hora es?
Son las 8:24.
Muy bien. ¿Qué hora es ahora?
Son las 3:50.
¿Y cuál es la fecha de hoy?
Hoy es 11 de marzo.
El 11 de marzo.
El 11 de marzo.
¿Y cuándo es tu cumpleaños?
Mi cumpleaños el 2 de agosto.
Muy bien. All right. Another way to talk about time is to talk about events that occur at a specific time. So in English, we would say the question like, at what time do you go to school? And then you would answer, I go to school at whatever time of day it is, okay? So in Spanish, we have to ask that question, ¿a qué hora? To say, do you go in Spanish would be the word vas. ¿A qué hora vas is what time do you go? At what time do you go? And then the answer would be to say voy, which means I go to whatever event you're going to, followed by a las before the hour, right? So don't confuse it with saying it is 5 o'clock right now, son las 5 versus a las 5, meaning at 5 o'clock. Does that make sense?
Okay, I think
So
so.
for example, ¿a qué hora vas al trabajo? Voy al trabajo a las 9. So take turns asking each other these questions here.
¿A qué hora vas a la casa?
Voy a las. How do I say all the time? I'm always here.
Todos.
So, yeah, so you say, siempre estoy en casa.
Siempre estoy en casa. ¿A qué hora vas a la escuela?
Voy a las 8.
Do you go to a different school than this one?
No, I just made up a time.
Oh, okay.
If I was going to go to school every day, I'd go about 8. ¿A qué hora vas al gimnasio?
Voy a las 4:30.
Yeah. All right, some new verbs to learn to talk about movement. Repiten, andar,
Andar,
entrar,
entrar,
Pasar.
caminar,
caminar,
manejar,
manejar,
viajar,
viajar,
correr,
Correr.
correr,
Ir.
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 Now, ir is irregular, right? Like what, and we just saw that on the last slide. So to say I go, you'd say yo voy. To say you go, you say tú vas. Super irregular. Let's practice here. So Bree, do you want to start us off?
Tú andas por la calle. Oh, sorry.
Yo, yo entro por la puerta.
Tú pasas por el banco.
Tú vas.
Yeah.
Tú vas por la autopista. Is that an autopsy?
¿Qué significa autopista?
The highway.
The highway?
Highway.
Oh.
Oh, interesting. Yo camino por las montañas.
Yo manejo por el norte de Denver.
Tú viajes por México.
Yo corro.
Try that last one again.
Tú viajas.
There you
Yeah,
go.
I got you. I'm with you. Tú viajas por México.
Yo corro por el parque.
Good. So here we see this word por again,
Mhm.
which means something a little bit different than the last time we saw it, which I think was for communication. Now we're seeing it being used for a use case around general movement or general locations. So here it can kind of translate to, in English, how we might say around, by, or through. Like number 6, yo manejo por el norte de Denver. That's like saying I'm driving around in the north part of Denver. I'm not being very specific, right? I'm just kind of giving a generalized location. Tú vas por la autopista. You're going by way of or by the highway, right? Through would be like saying, tú viajas por México, you travel through Mexico. Maybe you're going to Argentina, but tú viajas por México is like saying you have a stopover in Mexico. Okay, so very generalized movement or locations with this word. Let's see here. We only have a couple of minutes left. Let's go ahead and at least get the ball rolling on this third person. This is our next verb conjugation. So just to kind of go back to like 5th grade grammar class, I am the first person because I'm talking to you. You're the second person, but I'm not talking to you about you. I'm talking to you about another person. So that's kind of why it's the third person. There are 3 people involved in the conversation, although oftentimes the third person doesn't know that they're actually involved in the conversation, right?
Did
So-
you guys freeze up there?
No.
Okay, it's just me? Okay. I just missed that explanation, but that's okay. Something about third person.
Yeah, so just basically saying I'm the first person talking to you, you're the second person, but I'm talking to you about another person, which would be the third person. So that's why this is called the third person. So the rule for AR verbs in the third person is we take away the AR ending and we add back an A, right? So we get él habla or ella habla. And that's like saying he talks or she talks, okay? So then we cycle through the full thing here. And I always think it's a good idea initially to cycle through each conjugation as you're learning this, just to make it a little sticky in your head. So we repeat after me, hablar.
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 Yo hablo.
Yo
Yo
hablo.
hablo.
Tú hablas.
Tú
Tú
hablas.
hablas.
Él habla.
Él
Él
habla.
habla.
Ella habla.
Ella
Ella
habla.
habla.
So let's practice this on the next one. So let's go with you, Marty.
Ordenar. Yo ordeno. Tú ordenas. Él ordena. Ella ordena. ¿Sí?
Yo tomo. Tú tomas. Ella toma.
Yo reservo. Tú reservas. Él, ella reserva.
Good.
Bailar, let's see. Yo bailo, tú bailas, ella baila.
Yo cocino, tú cocinas, ella cocina.
Yo esquío, tú esquías, ella esquía.
Yo viajo, tú viajas, ella viaja.
Yo deseo, tú deseas, ella desea.
Yo hablo, tú hablas, ella habla.
Yo camino, tú caminas, ella camina.
Yo charlo, tú charlas, ella charla.
What was that word?
Charlar is to chat.
To chat. Okay, chat.
Yo comunico, tú comunicas, ella comunica.
Yo escucho, tú escuchas, and ella escucha.
Nice cuckoo clock. Who is that?
See my folks.
Grandparents.
That's the grandparents.
Yo entro, tú entras, ella entra.
Yo manejo, tú manejas, ella maneja.
Yo ando, tú andas,
Ando.
ando. Yo ando, tú andas, ella anda.
Yo paso, tú pasas, ella pasa.
Yo practico, tú practicas, ella practica.